I was at the bank trying to deposit a check when the manager pulled me aside. She looked nervous. "Mr. Martinez, we need to talk about your account. Someone has been making withdrawals, large ones. My son's signature was on every document, but I never authorized a single transaction. That afternoon, I installed cameras in my office. What I discovered 3 days later would send my own flesh and blood to prison. 67 years old, and I thought I knew everything about trust. 43 years running Martinez Auto Repair in Phoenix taught me to spot a bad alternator from across the shop. I could hear when an engine was about to blow just by the sound, but I missed the signs that my son Michael was planning to destroy me. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I walked into my office at the main shop on East Van Buren. The sun was already brutal. Typical Phoenix spring. I sat down at my desk and noticed something odd. My checkbook was not where I left it. I always keep it in the top right drawer, tucked under the parts catalog. Now it was in the left drawer, sitting on top of the invoices. I pulled it out and flipped through the register. The last check I wrote was number 38047 to our hydraulic lift supplier, but the next check stub showed 3851. 4 checks were missing. I looked closer. The amounts there was $252,500, all made out to cash. All signed 3 weeks ago. I never wrote those checks. My chest tightened. I opened my filing cabinet. The life insurance policy was pulled out slightly. The corner folded. Someone had been reading it. The beneficiary page had a coffee stain on it that was not there before. I do not drink coffee at my desk. I drink water from the same Diamondbacks mug my wife bought me before she died 10 years ago. Only 2 people besides me had keys to this office. My son, Michael, 38 years old, who I made general manager last year, and my daughter-in-law, Rebecca, 35, who does our bookkeeping twice a week. Michael was my only son. The kid who used to hand me wrenches in this very garage when he was 8. The boy who held my hand at his mother's funeral. The man I trusted to eventually take over when I retired. But something had changed in the last year. Michael bought a house in Scottsdale, the kind with a pool and mountain views, way beyond what a general manager salary could afford. Rebecca started wearing expensive jewelry, designer handbags. They took trips to Cabo, to Hawaii, to New York. When I asked how they could afford it, Michael said Rebecca's parents helped them. I wanted to believe him. I picked up my phone and called Sandra Chen, the branch manager at Desert Vista Bank, where I have done business for 22 years. She answered on the second ring. "Victor, I was going to call you today. Can you come in? It is important. I am on my way." 20 minutes later, I sat across from Sandra in her office. She had papers spread across her desk and concern written all over her face. "Victor, I need to show you something. Last month, someone opened a new account in your name, a checking account. They used your social security number, your driver's license information, everything." She slid a printout across the desk. There was my name, my address, but I never opened that account. The signature looked like mine, but the loops were wrong. Too practiced, too perfect. "There have been transfers," Sandra continued, "from your business account to this new personal account. A 35,000 over the past 6 weeks. Small amounts each time, 500 here, 800 there. Designed to stay under the reporting threshold." My hand started shaking. "Who has access to my business account?" "According to our records, you authorized Michael Martinez as a co-signer 2 years ago." I remembered that. Michael said it would make paying vendors easier when I was out of the shop. I thought I was helping him. I thought I was preparing him to take over someday. "There is more," Sandra said. She looked uncomfortable. "Someone called last week asking about your account status, specifically asking if you had any automatic payments set up, any recurring transfers." The caller identified himself as Michael Martinez. "Your son said he was handling your affairs because you were, and I quote, starting to have memory issues." The room felt smaller. Memory issues. "Victor, I am telling you this because something does not feel right. The pattern of withdrawals, the fake account, the phone call. This looks like financial elder abuse. I have seen it before." I drove back to the shop in a daze. I parked in my usual spot but sat in my truck for 10 minutes. Cars drove past on Van Buren. The heat shimmered off the asphalt. Everything looked normal, but nothing was normal anymore. That night I sat in my small house in South Phoenix, the one I bought when Maria and I got married 41 years ago. I looked at the photos on the wall. Michael at his high school graduation. Michael and Rebecca's wedding. Michael holding his baby daughter. My granddaughter Sophia, now 3 years old. At what point did my son decide to steal from me? I called my old friend Robert, a retired Phoenix PD detective who lives 2 streets over. We play cards every Thursday. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting. You need 2 things, Robert said. When I finished, documentation and a good lawyer. Document everything, every check, every transfer, every conversation, and call Daniel Kramer. He is the best elder law attorney in Phoenix. He will know what to do. The next morning, I went to an electronics store and bought 2 wireless security cameras, the kind that send alerts to your phone. I installed one in my office, hidden behind the picture of my late wife that sits on my bookshelf. The other one I put in the bookkeeping room where Rebecca works. The angle covered the filing cabinets and the computer. Then I called Michael. I kept my voice normal, casual. Hey son, I have a doctor appointment Friday. Full physical. The doctor wants to do some heart tests. Maybe keep me most of the day. Heart tests. Dad, is everything okay? Just routine. You know, at my age, they want to check everything. I will probably be there until evening. Do you want me to come with you? No. No. You run the shop. I will be fine. I hung up. The trap was set. Friday morning, I left the house at 80 Hodard. I drove to the medical center on Thomas Road and parked in the lot. I waited 15 minutes, then drove to a coffee shop 3 blocks from the auto shop where I could see my office window, but no one could see me. At 130, Michael's black Ford F-150 pulled into the parking lot. Rebecca got out of the passenger seat, but there was a third person with them. A man in his 50s wearing khakis and a button-down shirt carrying a briefcase. They walked to the office entrance. Michael used his key. I opened the camera app on my phone. The image was clear. They were in my office. Michael went straight to my desk and pulled out the checkbook. He laid it open and started writing. Rebecca sat in my chair going through my computer files. The man with the briefcase opened it and pulled out a thick folder. Everything is here, Michael said. The will, the insurance, the business accounts. Once we get the conservatorship, we control all of it. Conservatorship. The word hit me like a wrench to the gut. The man opened his folder. I have prepared the petition. It states that Victor Martinez is mentally incapacitated and unable to manage his affairs. Dr. Brennan has signed the medical evaluation. You are sure it will hold up? Rebecca asked. Dr. Brennan is thorough. The evaluation shows clear evidence of dementia, memory loss, confusion, inability to make sound financial decisions. With this documentation, the court will appoint Michael as conservator. Then you have full legal control. Michael picked up a photo of me and Maria from my desk. He stared at it for a moment, then sat it down. He has 6 locations. The property alone is worth $4 million. The business revenue last year was $8 million. We can sell everything within 6 months. And him? Rebecca asked. There is a memory care facility in Mesa, on $500 a month. Basic room, basic care. He will be fine there. They spent another 30 minutes reviewing documents. They made copies of my bank statements. They photographed my insurance policies. They discussed which assets to liquidate first. They talked about me like I was already gone. When they left, I sat in my truck shaking, not from fear, from rage so pure it felt like fire in my chest. That evening, I called Daniel Kramer, the attorney Robert recommended. He agreed to see me Saturday morning. I showed him everything. The fake checks, the fraudulent account Sandra found, the video from my phone. Daniel watched the footage twice. His expression grew darker each time. This is conspiracy to commit fraud, he said. Financial elder abuse, forgery. And if Dr. Brennan knowingly falsified a medical evaluation, that is medical fraud and perjury. What can I do? First, we protect your assets immediately. Today, we are setting up a revocable living trust. All your business assets, properties, and accounts go into the trust. You control it. But legally, if Michael gets conservatorship over you personally, he cannot touch the trust assets. How fast can we do this? I will have the paperwork ready by Monday. We file it Tuesday morning. What about them? What happens to Michael? Daniel leaned back in his chair. That depends on what you want. We can file a police report now. With this evidence, they would likely arrest him. Or we can wait. Let them file the conservatorship petition. When they present their fraudulent documents to the court, we hit them with everything. The criminal charges stick better that way. How long would we wait? Based on what they said in your video, they are moving fast. Maybe a week. When they file the petition, that is when we act. I thought about my son, about the little boy who used to help me in the garage, about the man who spoke at his mother's funeral and promised to take care of me, about the stranger who just discussed selling my life's work while I rotted in a facility. We wait, I said. Let them make their move. Over the next 5 days, I kept the cameras running. Michael came to the office 3 more times, always when he thought I was out. Each time he met with the man with the briefcase, who I learned was named Todd Pritchard, a paralegal who worked for a shady estate planning firm in Temp. On Wednesday, Michael called me. "Dad, we need to talk. Can you meet me for lunch tomorrow, Funtihodered at Durant?" Durant was my favorite restaurant, the old steakhouse where Maria and I celebrated our anniversary every year. Michael knew that. He was trying to manipulate me with sentimentality. "Sure, son. See you then." I called Daniel immediately. "He wants to meet. Go. Listen to what he says. Record the conversation, but do not sign anything and do not agree to anything." Thursday at 1, I arrived at Durant. Michael was already in a booth in the back. He stood up and hugged me. It felt hollow. "Dad, thanks for coming. I know you have been busy." I sat down across from him. My phone was recording in my jacket pocket. "What is on your mind?" He folded his hands on the table. "Dad, I am worried about you. You seem tired lately, forgetful. I think it might be time to slow down, maybe sell the business, enjoy retirement. I like working, it keeps me sharp. But at your age, things can change quickly. What if something happens? What if you have a health emergency? Rebecca and I think it would be smart to get things organized now." "Organized how?" "Well, maybe transfer some assets. Make sure everything is set up so if something happens, there is no confusion, no legal hassles." I looked at my son, this man who had my eyes, my build, my last name. "You want me to transfer my assets to you? It just makes sense, Dad. For tax purposes, for estate planning, we have been talking to a specialist. He says this is the best way to protect everything." "Protect it from what?" "From probate, from complications." "Dad, I am trying to help you." "Are you?" Something flickered across his face. "Uncertainty." "What do you mean?" "I mean, are you trying to help me or are you trying to help yourself?" His jaw tightened. "I do not know what you are talking about." "Do not you?" "The fake checks, the fraudulent bank account, the $35,000 you stole, the conservatorship petition, the memory care facility in Mesa." The color drained from his face. For a long moment he said nothing. Then his expression changed. The loving sun mask cracked and I saw what was underneath. Cold, calculating. "Who told you that? Does it matter? You were going to have me declared incompetent, lock me away, sell everything I built." He leaned forward. "You are not getting any younger, Dad. You are going to lose it all anyway. Taxes, medical bills, legal fees. This way, the family keeps it. This way, it stays with me and Sophia. You have not earned it. I have worked in that shop since I was 16. I have earned every damn dollar by stealing, by forging documents, by committing fraud." He stood up from the booth. "By tomorrow afternoon, you will be under my conservatorship. Dr. Brennan has already filed his evaluation. The court hearing is at Funtihodered, and there is nothing you can do about it." He walked out. I sat there alone, staring at my untouched water glass. Then I texted Daniel one word. Tomorrow, Friday morning, I arrived at the Maricopa County Superior Court at 9:30. Daniel was waiting outside courtroom 4B with 2 police officers, Detective Sarah Williams and Detective Mark Chen from the Phoenix PD Financial Crimes Unit. "Are you ready?" Daniel asked. "As I will ever be." Through the small window in the courtroom door, I could see Michael and Rebecca sitting at the front table. Todd Pritchard was with them. Next to them sat a man in a white coat. Dr. Brennan, I assumed. He looked nervous. Daniel checked his watch. "Wait here, let them start. Let them present their fraudulent petition, then we go in." At exactly 100 Odered, the judge entered. Judge Patricia Morales. According to the nameplate, she was in her 50s with sharp eyes and an expression that suggested she tolerated no nonsense. "This is case number CV 224087-532. The petition for conservatorship over Victor Manuel Martinez. Counsel, please state your appearances." Todd Pritchard stood. Todd Pritchard, appearing for petitioner Michael Martinez. Your Honor, the judge reviewed the file. Mr. Pritchard, you are not an attorney. I am representing Mr. Martinez under the supervision of attorney James Keller, who could not be here today. Judge Morales frowned but continued. This is a petition for emergency conservatorship. What is the basis for this emergency? Pritchard stood again. Your Honor, the respondent, Victor Martinez, is 77 years old and showing severe signs of cognitive decline. We have a medical evaluation from Dr. Richard Brennan confirming advanced dementia. Mr. Martinez can no longer manage his financial affairs or make sound decisions. His son, Michael, is petitioning for conservatorship to protect his father's assets and well-being. I was 67, not 77. They could not even get my age right. Is Mr. Martinez present? The judge asked. No, Your Honor. Due to his mental state, we did not inform him of this hearing. That was Daniel's cue. He pushed open the courtroom doors. I walked in behind him, followed by the two detectives. Your Honor, Daniel announced. I am Daniel Kramer representing Victor Martinez. Mr. Martinez is very much present, very much competent, and very much aware that this petition is based entirely on fraud. Michael spun around. His face went white. Rebecca grabbed his arm. Judge Morales raised her eyebrows. This is highly irregular. Mr. Martinez, you are represented by counsel. I am, Your Honor. Mr. Kramer has represented me for many years. Daniel approached the bench and handed over a folder. Your Honor, I am submitting evidence that this entire petition is fraudulent. The medical evaluation was falsified. Dr. Brennan never examined Mr. Martinez. Furthermore, we have video and audio evidence of the petitioner and his associates conspiring to commit financial elder abuse, forge documents, and steal Mr. Martinez's assets. Judge Morales opened the folder and began reading. Her expression hardened. We also have bank records showing that Michael Martinez has already stolen a $35,000 from his father through a fraudulent account opened in Mr. Martinez's name. Michael stood up. This is ridiculous. He is confused. That is exactly why he needs a conservator. Sit down, Mr. Martinez, the judge said sharply. He sat. She turned to Dr. Brennan. Doctor, did you personally examine Victor Martinez? Dr. Brennan shifted in his seat. I reviewed his medical history and consulted with family members who reported concerning symptoms. Did you examine him in person? The family felt it would be too stressful for him given his condition. So, you diagnosed advanced dementia without ever seeing the patient. I based my evaluation on the information provided. That is medical malpractice, doctor. And filing a false medical report with this court is perjury. Judge Morales turned to the detectives. Officers, I want these individuals arrested, all of them. Fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, financial elder abuse, forgery, and perjury. Detective Williams stepped forward. Michael Martinez, Rebecca Martinez, you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. They put handcuffs on my son. Rebecca started crying, mascara running down her face. Victor, please. We did not mean it. We were just trying to help. Michael said nothing. He kept his eyes on the floor as they let him out. Todd Pritchard was handcuffed next. I was just doing my job, he protested. Dr. Brennan was last. His hands trembled as they cuffed him. I am sorry, he said to me. They paid me $20,000. I need the money. I have debts. I watched them all being let out of the courtroom. My son, the boy I raised, the man I trusted. Judge Morales looked at me. Mr. Martinez, I am sorry you had to experience this. The petition is denied. Your assets and your rights remain intact. Thank you, Your Honor. I walked out of the courthouse with Daniel beside me. The Phoenix sun was blinding. The sky was that perfect Arizona blue. The city hummed around us, indifferent to my pain. How are you feeling? Daniel asked. I did not answer right away. Relieved, angry, heartbroken, all of it. I just sent my son to prison. Your son was trying to steal your life and lock you away. You protected yourself. That is all. 4 months later, the trial concluded. Michael was sentenced to 5 years in state prison for fraud, financial elder abuse, and conspiracy. Rebecca received 3 years as an accessory. Todd Pritchard lost his paralegal license and got 2 years. Dr. Brennan lost his medical license and received 4 years for medical fraud and perjury. I stood in the courtroom and watched the judge read the sentences. Michael finally looked at me. His eyes were hollow, empty. I did not look away. I sold 2 of my auto shops, kept the 4 that were profitable. I promoted my lead mechanic, Jose, to general manager. He had been with me for 18 years and never stolen a dime. I started spending more time with my daughter in Tucson, Michael's younger sister, who had stayed out of everything. She told me she was not surprised by what Michael did. She said he always felt entitled, always wanted the easy way. 8 months after the sentencing, I received a letter from the prison from Michael. I held it for a week before opening it. Dad, I do not expect forgiveness. I do not deserve it. I just want you to know I am sorry. I convinced myself that I was owed something, that because I worked in your shops, because I was your son, the business should be mine. I thought you were holding out on me, that you were being selfish. I was wrong. You built everything with your own hands, and I tried to take it like a thief. I am ashamed. I think about Mom a lot in here, about what she would say. She would be disgusted with me. Take care of yourself. Tell Sophia I love her if you still see her. Michael, I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. I have not written back. Maybe someday I will, but not yet. 18 months have passed. Martinez Auto Repair is still running. Joe's is doing a great job. I work 3 days a week now instead of 6. I take Sophia to the park on Sundays. Rebecca's mother brings her over. We do not talk about Michael. Sometimes late at night, I sit in my living room and look at the old photos. Michael as a baby. Michael learning to change oil. Michael at his wedding. I wonder when it went wrong. Was it when Maria died and I buried myself in work? Was it when I gave him too much too soon? Was it when I did not teach him that respect is earned, not given? I do not have answers. Maybe there are none. But I know this. I did what I had to do. The hard thing. The thing that cost me my son but saved my dignity. Because a man who does not stand up for himself is not a man. He is a victim, and I refuse to be a victim. I learned that family is not just blood. It is loyalty. It is trust. It is actions, not words. And I learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the ones who hurt you the worst. But you survive. You keep going. And you protect what is yours no matter the